Good evening and welcome to Prospero Plays. Today I'm taking a crack at a Steam game, or a game on Steam, excuse me, called Star Conflict. This is a team-based fighter game. Right now I'm playing in a Dominion match. I'm using my rank 6 Imperial Gunship. There are different classes and types of ship. The Gunship is a fighter class, which is kind of in the middle, the front line of an offense. And the Gunship specifically is a heavy damage dealer. It can be a little rough. It's not necessarily the tankiest, but if you're the second kind of wave to engage, you can deal a lot of damage, especially with your overdrive.
Excellent. We've got our first beacon.
This is a capture point kind of map. So you have to stay close to these beacons in order to capture them. Looks like the larger ships are heading down here. I like larger ships because they're easier for me to hit. And here we go. It's an interesting game because the navigation is completely separated from the actual gun. So you use your mouse to control the gun, where your gun turrets are pointed, but you use the directionals to determine where your. Sorry, it's a very intense game also. Boom! I'm doing some work right now. The terrain itself is quite lovely, also. You just look at all the asteroids and stuff that you get to play with, or play around. Oh, that's a lot of enemies. My overdrive is almost up again, though. Woo! Dun, dun, dun. Ooh. So Star Conflict is a really intense game. Like, it really, as you can tell by how little I've been talking, it really draws you in. I have a couple other ships on my taskbar here, but my gunship is probably my best ship. As you can tell on the top, there's a score on the side. The team with the most beacons takes down the enemy score to 0. If by the time the time in the top right goes out, no one has won, then it's the team with the highest score. Right now, we're winning pretty hardcore. If you notice, we now have all the beacons, which means they'll be bleeding score really fast.
Beacon has been captured.
Now on the bottom of the screen you can see there's a bunch of modules. The way this game works is it's a very module based game. So these modules can be switched out. The only one that can't be switched out is the one in the middle, which is the module for your ship type. So for example, the gunship module in the middle, activated by the F button, is the overdrive. The way overdrive works is, normally I can only fire this fast, but when I activate overdrive, my maneuverability and attack speed is increased considerably. For example, right now. And that's really the danger of the gunship right there, is just being able to completely tear enemies apart. Like so. This is actually a pretty good game for me. On the screen, the information, like that ship that I'm chasing right now is an interceptor class because it's a triangle. Interceptors are fast and small. If you can hit them, you can damage them. But the problem is, of course, hitting them. You can see how much he's maneuvering. Well, I hope you enjoyed my kind of example of Star Conflict. It's really a fun game. I'll show you a little bit about how you can customize your ships here before I go. Each match is actually pretty short, so you could play a match or two before I had the most kills on the team. Aw, yeah. You can play a match or two without even having to like waste that much time. So as you can see, this is my ship hangar bay. This is the ship I was using. This is actually a ship of a rank before it that I might use later just to get the synergy up, and this is a command ship. Each ship has equipment. Here's the modules I was talking about, and as this particular ship is level 6, it has a whole bunch of modules to work with. This one increases the critical hit chance. This one down here increases the... or actually, it removes all negative effects and makes me invulnerable for 2 seconds. This can be used very effectively because with a gunship, once you're really opening fire on a target, sometimes 2 seconds is all you need. The third one's engine overdrive. It increases speed. I mainly just use it to get places because as soon as you fire a weapon or a missile, it disables the module. My weapon is max strength there. So there's a whole ship list. There's 3 different factions. There's the Empire, whose starting ship is a gunship. There is the Federation, whose starting ship is a tackler. And there's Jericho, whose starting ship is Command. Now those are all fighter class ships. Up in the top of this bar here is the Interceptor class ships, of which there are 3 different types. And then on the bottom is the Frigate class ship, of which there's 3 different types. Now each has a kind of each faction has a primary ship of that type, and then kind of a secondary. So as you can see, as you go down here, Empire ships go to gunship, branch off into command ships, but don't have any tacklers for the Empire. So the good thing is you don't have to stick to one faction. You can move around the factions as you like, if you like a particular faction ship. I primarily stick with Empire because they have my 2 favorite classes, which are gunships and long-range ships, which are the snipers of space. An interesting mechanic in this game is synergy. If you take a look at up here, it has to do with the synergy of a ship. I can go ahead and switch what ship's in this so you can take a look. This was the ship before the ship I'm using right now, which is the Demos. It has full synergy, which means that I've used this ship enough that the ship and I know how to use the ship, and it actually gets increased stats once it gets to certain things. So for example, at the beginning it only had 1 synergy and it was its base stats, but each level increases its hull strength, its speed, its survivability, until eventually, and some of them even increase certain other bonus stats. For example, in this gunship, when I reached, I think, level 4, it got a 15% increase in main weapon damage, and at level 5, it gets a increase in all the reload rate of all gunship modules. So this is a huge, like, mechanic in this game that allows you to, as you play, your ship gets better. So once you buy a new ship, It's not like a lot of other games that you get OP immediately. When you buy a new ship, very often your old ship will be better than your new ship. But once you've gotten synergy with that new ship, the higher level ships are better. I hope you enjoyed this brief introduction to the world of Star Conflict. I hope you'll try it out. It's free to play on Steam. You can go ahead and play for free. Try it out. It's a great game, and good luck out there.